All right, y'all. So you're thinking about getting into DayZ, right? Well, let me teach you some of the basics. So this is a deer and this is a gun. Deers can hear you from a mile away. So what you're going to have to do is if you aim in the left control button, you hold your breath, and then you can shoot. Dead. All right. You run up to it. You have your knife out. Okay. So you can use the number pads at the actual top to scroll through your different weapons of choice. So, all right. And once you find that deer, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure your knife is equipped. You're going to walk up to the deer and you can actually skin the deer so you'll get meat. This is how you kill wildlife. This is how you get meat and food. If you're not in a modded server and you cannot buy your food, you can also find canned food, and everything falls on the floor. By pressing tab, you can see what is in your vicinity. So you can actually click on these objects here and try to drag as much. If you double click, you can't see my side of my vicinity, but again, tab, and then what you do is you literally double click on the objects and it will go over to the right. You'll see in your inventory. You can hold on your gun and you click on it, and so it's in your hands. You can also drag different objects into your hands here, but if you hover over the gun, it will actually tell what type of ammo type that you need. So this one needs 5.56 45. All right, for example, if you want to swap something, what you're going to do is you're going to click on tab, and then you're going to hold on the object that you want and see how there's a combine or swap option. Swap is normally the main option that you're going to use. And you scroll up and down and look for what you want to put in that object, as there are options for that. So for this night viz strap, I need a battery in order to make it operate. If you need more ammo in your actual gun, what you're going to do is you're going to drag it into your hands, and then you're going to hold the R button and it will automatically reload. If you hold the left mouse button and you have reloaded all of your magazine, but you actually want to swap out that ammo type into a different magazine, you're going to hold the right button of your mouse and the left button of your mouse, sorry, and it will unclip all the bullets there. But again, just by holding R, it will automatically reload all of it until the wheel is actually finished loading in. And just a friendly reminder, you can only hold and swap out the magazine ammo type if you are actually holding the magazine itself. If you are not holding the magazine, you cannot swap or reload your weapon. So what you have to do is you have to pull on your magazine and you'll pull it over to your gun where it says combine, and you should be good to go to add your magazine into your gun. If you're trying to open a box of ammo, what you're going to do is you're going to drag it into your inventory. You're going to hold the left mouse button, and then it will tear the box open. And then once that box is open, you can go and drag your mag in, and then you hold the R button as well, and then you will also reload your magazine. If you are cutting up an animal, you need to make sure that you take a piece of article of clothing and you can actually use your knife and cut it into rags. You want to make, then you want to drag those rags into your inventory and look down at your hands, and we'll say make improvised hand wrap. You're going to want to use a hand wrap so every time you eat, and if you cut up an animal, when you eat, you won't get a foodborne sickness, because that can be very detrimental and cost a lot of medicine to help you feel better. If you're playing on a modded, unmodded server, depending on what mods they have on that server, just make sure you read those server rules. It is different for every single one. Another way to get food in this game is by fishing. So what you're going to do is you're going to run over to a tree, you're going to take your knife, and you're going to cut a tree down until you get a long stick. So this is gather firewood. You might get a long stick out of it. You basically kind of gotta keep doing it until you get a long stick. You should say firewood. We're going to grab the dark bark for it later. long stick. All right. What you're going to do is you want to click that into your inventory, and then you're actually going to swap that out. You're going to take your rope here in your inventory, and you're going to click combine. And then on the right, you can see craft improvised fishing rod. If you use the scroll wheel, sometimes you'll have various different options of activities or different things you can do with the crafting. Oops. Oh. Sorry. See, if you also click the, you can combine them. And then you will make an improvised fishing rod. So through the killing of deer or other large animals, sometimes there's a chance that it will drop a bone. You can use that bone, do the same thing here. You drag that bone straight into your inventory, and then you use an improvised fish hook from that bone. I already have a lure on me, so I'm actually going to pull that over to my hands. But first, we actually have to go digging for worms. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at the ground, and you're just going to keep digging for worms until you have some. Alright, and we have a worm right here, so we're just going to drag that into our inventory. We are going to pull our fishing rod into our inventory. And we are going to take off the lure. And we are going to swap that on. And then we're going to take the worm and we're going to click combine. And we're going to hold the left mouse. We're combining the lure and the worm together. Pick that off the ground. You can also look in the vicinity. And we're going to pull this back into our inventory, and we're going to find our lure that we just picked off the ground with the worm on it, and we are going to add it on there. So now once you run up to water, you'll be able to fish and actually start getting fish from the pond. Unless you have a lure with a worm on it, you cannot actually fish. So you're just going to hold it until this circle pops around. It can pop around a couple of times. Periodically, you're going to want to check to make sure that the worm is still on the hook. You might have a chance where you will have to actually pick up another worm off the ground. Alright, y'all. Let's skip ahead until we catch a fish. Oh, wait, we just caught one. Just kidding. Alright, well, we did a action, so we just have a hook and bobber. So I will see you all when I catch a fish. Alright, once we have our fish in our inventory, I'm just going to pull that fish into my inventory, and I'm going to click combine with my knife, and I'm going to hold the left mouse button down to actually skin the fish so I can get food from it. Alright, again, like with the deer, we're going to take everything. Again, wear hand wraps because your hands could get super bloody and you don't want to get a sickness. So now we are going to learn how to make a fire in this game. So what we're going to do is we're going to run over to the tree. There's firewood, so that's good. But if you don't have access to firewood, you're going to go over and find a tree that says, you first want the knife in your inventory, gather dark bark. You need to do this a couple of times until you have enough bark to sustain your fire. Alright, and then we have to find another tree as well to gather long sticks from. You might have to run a little ways. Trees are very finicky, depending on if you can find a long stick or not. Alright, so we have long stick, and we have short sticks. So pretend we just got long sticks here. So we are going to drag our long stick and our knife. We're going to combine them. And, oh, that's sharpened. Like I said, remember I said that there was a little wheel. So we're going to combine it. And we're going to use that mouse button to go up and down between the different options. So we're actually going to split this long stick to make more short sticks. All right, and then you have to drag it in your inventory, so make sure you do that. And we're gonna swap the knife out for the short stick, and we're gonna get our short stick and our dark bark, and it says craft fireplace. That's what we want. So now we have a fireplace. So I will get that set up and I will see you in the next part. So once you set down your fireplace exactly where you want it, you're gonna take your lighter or your matches and you're gonna hold to ignite it. And then that should be good to go. And then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a long stick again. Running downhill is also not the most fun thing ever. I think this knife is gone. So there's different conditions of every item. So these say worn, this says ruined, this says pristine. I'll show you a pristine. That's pristine. So you'll know the difference and things will get worn very quickly. So you're going to want to always make sure that you have an extra of something, at least in the beginning. On a modded server, it's obviously a lot easier to get these objects because I can go to the trader and I can buy them. So we're going to take a long stick here again, and then we're going to find my long stick, and then we're going to combine them, and we're going to sharpen my stick. Alright. So we have a sharpened stick here. We're going to swap that out and over. And then when you press the tab icon, you don't want to stand too close to fire. You can catch on fire in this game. But when you stand over here, you'll see that meat little icon. And we're going to go ahead and drag our meat into there. And then we're going to roast it over the fire. And you just hold down the circle. You're going to want to make sure that you get grill marks on it. You can actually burn the meat, so you want to be super careful. I guess the angle we're at, it does not like it. So we're going to swap to over here. And then if you stop holding your left mouse button to roast the meat, you can actually check on the meat status and make sure your meat is not burned. There is no way to check it other than a visual looking at it. You can also pan up to it as well. I hold it so far away from the fire, I'm kind of unsure why. But there is a drastic change, so make sure that you're doing that. Cooked meat will also survive a lot longer than raw meat as well. So as you have a fireplace acceptable, make sure that you're cooking the meat, make sure that you're eating, keeping your water up, keeping your health up, keeping everything up, and you just want to keep tabs on that. Okay, so right now it's visibly raw, as you can see. And so what we can do is we can take it and double click it over here. We're going to go ahead and roast our second one. If you have a fireplace, you want to get a cook pot. So a cook pot can either be found at a trader if you're on a modded server, or it can be found at by fishing. It can also be found in different houses and looting as well. You can put the cook pot in there in the fireplace, and you can add your meat or anything that you want cooked inside of it. But make sure you're boiling the water to keep it absolutely pure. You don't want to be drinking any dirty water, as you can get sick from that. Those are the few basics that I know. Keep status of your different icons in the right. There's a lot of looting in this game, as there is a lot of running around as well. There is different servers for PvP, PvE, however you would like to play this game. So those are the few tips that I have for you. Here's an example of a cook pot over here, as you can see. And yeah, that's the little intro that I have for DayZ for you. Obviously, we'll figure out more as we go along. But that is the few kind of things I have to kind of keep you going versus things I didn't know before I started. All right, y'all. Talk to you later. Peace.